right, based upon your current thoughts and your current standard of living, maybe you have a 30% chance of achieving your retirement goals. But there are always ways to increase those percentages. Let's say that one of your goals was to leave money to the kids. Well, instead of leaving X to the kids, why don't we look at it and say, let's leave 50% of X to the kids, or 30% of X to the kids. We look at that and we say, hey, that raises your probability of success from 30% to 47% right there. Let's say that you retire 2 or 3 years later than you had originally proposed. Hey, that brings you up to maybe a 65% probability of success. Do you see where I'm going with this? Well, instead of this $100,000 a year that you need to live on, maybe you can work a configuration out where you only spend $80,000 a year. And heck, magically, in many cases, your probability of success rises to the 80% level and even higher. And you keep adjusting. Maybe you can save a little bit now. Maybe now that you see your way out of the tunnel, maybe you can put some money aside. Maybe you can get your money out of the money market, do a little bit smarter investing, and earn a little bit higher rate of return. Maybe it brings it up another couple of percentage points probability of success. Look, I can't get into all of the specifics about this process. Suffice to say, I think you get an idea of what I'm talking about. If you want more information, you want to hear this again in its entirety, go to onthemoneyradio.org. If you have a question for me, you can call us at 1-866-MONEY-01, or you can go to the website and write us a question. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So you need to figure out how to deal with your issues. And how do you do that? Either you study it yourself or you hire some kind of an advisor to take you through it. Find yourself a good advisor, someone you can trust, someone who talks your language and understands what you are trying to achieve, and work along with that person to get your head out of the sand and start facing your future. It's not as bleak as you may have thought. Hi, this is Steve Pomerantz, host of On the Money. Do you have someone with whom you can have an honest conversation about money? Someone who will present the facts as they are with solutions that serve only your needs tailored to you? You listen to On the Money because you know we state the facts with no hidden agenda and no bias. You may also know that I hold free educational workshops to share my knowledge and experience with you. In this next workshop, I'll be discussing the roadmap to retirement. For instance, what are the most pertinent questions you should be asking yourself as you navigate these critical years of retirement? And how are your thoughts and feelings going to impact your financial decision-making? I'll also cover the smart way to invest for more income. And I'll talk about the design or how the design of your portfolio fits into the whole picture. So join me as I discuss the roadmap to retirement, and reserve your seat today for my free workshop, Tuesday, June 16th at the Boca Raton Renaissance from 7 to 8 p.m. Call 1-866-MONEY-01. That's 1-866-MONEY-01. Or sign up on our Facebook page at facebook.com/onthemoneyradio. That's facebook.com/onthemoneyradio, and click sign up right next to the like button. You know, I just want to remind you that any interviewee's appearance on the Money does not represent any endorsement or confer any opinion whatsoever, either positive or negative, by On the Money or any media by which On the Money is distributed. For more great personal, financial, and investment topics, hear me daily, Monday through Friday morning, 6:30 to 7, with Encore Plays Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 here on WSBR 740 AM. Thank you so much for joining us.
Investing and decisions concerning money and personal finance are important decisions. Listeners are advised to research and discuss financial decisions with a tax, legal, or financial advisor. On the Money Radio makes no claims, warranties, guarantees of any information discussed on this program. The advisor's inclusion as one of Worth's top 100 wealth advisors may not reflect any one client's experience. Inclusion on this list may not be indicative of the investment advisor's future performance. More information can be obtained online at the program's official radio website at onthemoneyradio.org or by calling the toll-free consumer line at 1-866-MONEY-01.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470, WNN, with more of what you need to know. Here are the latest from Invite Health with Jerry Hickey, weekdays at 9 on AM 1470, WNN.
I'm Eric Martin. Wow, it's a blistering hot day, and with a special weather tip on the importance of heat awareness, here's Katie Upton. Katie?
As we all know, it can get really hot and humid here in Florida. Warning signs for heat exhaustion are confusion, headache, weakness, fatigue, cramps, nausea, and rapid heartbeat. To avoid these conditions, wear loose clothing, drink plenty of water, and stay safe in the sun.
Brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Talk 1470, WNN is now available on iHeartRadio. Download it now for free on your app store and take WNN with you wherever you go with iHeartRadio.
The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Hi, I'm Joanne McCall, Vice President of the Florida Education Association. Dr. Seuss was right. Reading is the key to learning. And the best part is, it doesn't matter if you read the classics or the comics. Whatever sparks a student's interest, football, dance, trains, there's a book about it just waiting to be read. So go read and help a child succeed.
A message from the Florida Education Association.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470, WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Do you have enough light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey, happy Wednesday. It's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome to the Rabbi Jenny Show. And I have to tell you, I am on fire this week. I have such an exciting show for you. I have had so many things explode all week long with the Torah, and I'm so excited to bring it to you. Our topic today is manifestation, and basically clarifying all of the laws and myths that are out there right now about manifesting the truth in your life, and clarifying that using scripture, because it just happens to fit in this week. Isn't that funny? But before we begin with our topic of manifestation, we're going to remind you of the two Rabbi Jenny main ideas. I want you to take these throughout everything I teach you and everything you do in your life. And the first one is, the world is happening for you and not to you. This is so very important. We are in a process. We are in a journey. We are manifesting, and we are manifesting as divine love light energy. And that is you. That is the second main idea, that you are divine love light energy in a process. And I think that that's what I want to talk about today, that manifestation is not what they're saying. It's not what they're saying in these books that are out. There's a couple books about the law of attraction, and that you should be able to poof things in midair just by thinking about them. And that's just too simple. And if you've tried these things, if you've tried making a vision board or thinking about that house that you really want, and you're like, why isn't it coming? Why isn't it coming? This show is really important, because manifestation is not magic. Manifestation is actually like a process of transformation. And I got to that through the scripture this week, because we are right in the beginning of the third book of Torah, and it's Bamidbar, and it's Numbers. And if you're following me at all, you'll hear that I get a little frustrated sometimes when I open scripture. I go, okay, like, why aren't we there yet? Like, my big feeling when I read Torah is, okay, why aren't they there yet? Why aren't the Israelites in Zion? Like, what is this about? Why do you waste a whole book on these laws? Why now do we have to count everybody? Because this book that we're in right now, what happened is we kind of like laid low for a while. The Israelites laid low while Moses received all the laws after they were free. And so we have this whole book of the laws. And then what they're doing now at the beginning of this new book is God says you got to count everybody. You literally got to count everybody, add them up. Add up all the 12 tribes and how many of each tribe, and then we're going to lay them out in a certain order. And I thought to myself, why? Why do we read this every year? What is this telling me? What am I trying to look at? What can I bring to people so they'll understand that the Torah, like I taught you last week, is the code of your life. You're not in a destination intent focus, my friends. The journey of this life is the whole thing. It's the whole thing in the Torah, that you're in this process to journey. And this is the part of your journey where you figure out what you got going on. You know, you may have broken free of some things like they did. You may have gotten out of that slavery that you thought was so hard. And then you had to kind of figure out what would make your life work. And then, and only then, do you kind of create this sacred space that they're talking about in Numbers. And I absolutely love the idea of manifesting in our life, and I became pretty obsessed with it about 10 years ago when the movie The Secret came out. I was watching that thing once a day for a year. I was I got to do this. I know this. I know there's some truth to this. The problem is the saying in Torah is not I think, therefore I am. The saying in Torah is I am that I am. Because we are mind, body, soul, and spirit, my friends. We are not just thoughts. And if you just try to transform your thoughts, you're not going to move because you're a 4-part being. You are made up of the 4 elements. You are made up of this. And this portion this week is about setting that up so you can actually take that flight. And the best way I can explain it is that if you look at a butterfly and a caterpillar, and I want you to think about in the scripture, I want you to think about the Israelites. I want you to think about the slaves as like a caterpillar. And they're crawling along the ground, and they're crawling, and they're making progress, because they're making their way up the little stem of the plant to get on the leaf, to hang the pupa and do that whole thing. But they're making progress. So maybe you're like a caterpillar, like the Israelites. And then what happens is the pupa, the cocoon, starts to get formed. And that's the laws. That's the Torah. That's the law that we all heard about. That's love thy neighbor as thyself. Don't harvest all of your field. Leave it for the fatherless. These laws of love, okay? That's the cocoon. But then you got to go inside the cocoon. You have to go inside the cocoon. And I think that that's what this portion is about, my friends. When they're standing around and Moses is getting all these instructions about how to set up his people. He's setting them inside the cocoon because if you know this story, it's going to frustrate you for another, 4 or 5 months if you're Jewish, because they don't get there for a while. And they don't get there because they go inside the cocoon. They have to adjust their mind, their body, and their spirit. And if you have ever studied any kind of indigenous species or any faith that really honors the 4 elements, you'll know that they set up things in 4 directions. And one of the things I love about clarifying for you, if you're of Judeo-Christian background or any of the Abrahamic religions, you think that this doesn't apply to you. But there is nothing different. Because what happens in this portion is Moses is told to set up his tribes using the directions north, south, east, and west. And he actually places certain tribes in each direction. And it's not by coincidence, my friend, because what do I tell you? It's a code. Torah is a magnificent code teaching you how to set up your life. And he puts, I actually drew it out for myself because I get a little confused, having studied with some of the shamans in other faiths. They use a little different animals. But what happens in Torah is he puts certain tribes, and he puts the north for our mind. He puts Dan, the judge, in the north. And the north is always the symbol for air. And it's always the symbol for thinking. And we love to think that our thinking really matters. But guess what? It's like 1/4 of who you are, okay? So then he puts Benjamin, the ravenous wolf, in the west. And that represents our body. It represents our ability to change, to grow. If you've ever, I have a 12-year-old son, if you've ever looked at a boy when he's 10 and then look at him when he's 12, our body is miraculous, the way it changes and grows and takes things. And then you have in the south, you have Reuben, he is first. And the south always represents the soul. And you're saying to me, Jenny, what is a soul? Well, I want you to think of your soul as your heredity. your lineage, what you come into, your family, the spirit of your tribe. And Reuben was his first son, so it's the initial tribe. So everything you do in the south, it's uncovering all those messages and all those tapes inside your soul that are blocking you. And then you're going to go in your east. And your east, we always know the sun rises in the east. We pray to the east. The east is the first, thing. It's the very last thing you salute when you do the sacred directions. But in the east, no coincidence, he puts Judah, the lion, Yehuda, he who sees God. He puts spirit. And what's the difference between spirit and soul? Spirit is the God energy inside of you, and soul is the man energy. They're both connected, but they're different levels of vibration. So we're to set up our life like this. So if you're having something in your life and you've tried, you've said, Jenny, I'm trying to manifest. I've read all these books and they tell me to breathe and get clear and intentionally think over and over again, I'm going to have a boat in my backyard. And you're thinking to yourself, like, what is going wrong? Well, I'm telling you, you haven't set up the sacred space in your life. You haven't set up to even get into that cocoon, and you're not being kind and compassionate enough to yourself, because the laws that came before about loving thy neighbor as thyself require that you love yourself. And so you must, before you manifest, you must recognize that you are made up of all these things, and you're crawling on the ground. And you're attaching to different areas of your life in these 4 ways. And so when you look at those laws, before we started counting, when you look at those laws, you see that they focus on the way that we think about life, how we judge other people, how we judge the things that come in our life, what we eat. It focuses on our body. What are we eating? What are we doing to our body that we know isn't going to take us to that next level? Like, why aren't I a butterfly? Why aren't I a butterfly? Well, a butterfly can't fly if you got a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? You got to change the way you're living your life on every level. What about your soul? What ideas of your parents are you carrying into today? And how are those tapes stopping you? And that's sacredly, you got to look at that. It's not as simple as you're just, I think, therefore I am. It's I am that I am. When I'm completely aligned in all of these areas, then I arrive at the Holy Land. Then that happens. And so it's all about having that patience and kindness with yourself. And then there's that spiritual aspect. Like, what are you doing for your spirit? How are you spending time with your spirit? Are you connecting with the world? Are you afraid to connect to the world? Are you not feeling worthy enough? I really like bugs, okay? If you want to know something about Rabbi Jenny that'll flip you out, insects rock my world, okay? Anything on the planet rocks my world, but I like insects. So I don't mean to badmouth the caterpillar in this teaching. It's just sometimes imagery really helps me. And caterpillars, they crawl on the ground. I mean, caterpillars got nothing when you look at a butterfly. It's just got nothing on the butterfly, okay? But it's stuck. It's weighted. It's on the ground. It's fuzzy, And so when we think about not manifesting, we may have the want for things to change. But there's just something in our life, in our heart, in our mind, in our soul that's holding me back. And you're probably thinking, Jenny, I know this. Like, what's your point? And the message today is patience and kindness and love for oneself, because it's not about becoming the butterfly. Because I have this beautiful message for you, my listeners. You are not just a butterfly. You are actually 550 butterflies inside of a butterfly. Because each one of those Israelites that they counted in that book is a piece of you. That's how many things, that's how many caterpillars are in there. That's how many things and threads inside of you that need to be transformed. So the level you're at today, they say wherever you are is right where you're supposed to be, or you'd be somewhere else. But wherever you are is the most expansive space for you to be in. You are in the perfect place, my friends. It's just impossible for you not to be. Because remember, idea number 2, you're divine love, light, energy, and you are expanding at all times. So wherever you are right now is the only place of expansion that you could possibly be at. So the next step is to create the sacred space as it's defined in here. You know what to do. You know forgiveness. You know love in your heart. But now it's time to stop and look and figure out a way to confront those things inside of you that don't allow you to do those things. I was sitting with a group of friends and this girl, sometimes young people like really, they say stuff. I said stuff. That's a miracle. They say stuff, and someone in the studio knows what a miracle that is. They say things and they don't even mean to say it. And she said, forgive everyone, everything, every time. And just said it with this fervitude. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I just do not do that. You know, it's the most simple thing ever. Okay, little butterflies, we'll be right back with Manifestation. And this is Rabbi Jenny. Thanks for tuning in.
Come, my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Come, my lady, come, my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Such a sexy.
This is Rabbi Jenny from the Rabbi Jenny Show, and I have some exciting news for you. Do you know you have a light inside that shines like no other? Are you having difficulty releasing the past and moving forward and embracing your future? Join me on Saturday, May 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Times Gifts in West Palm for the release of my brand new book, Ahavatar, where I teach you to awaken the divine within and embrace your divine healer, hero, and visionary. Join me Saturday, May 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Times and light up your world. And don't forget, catch me every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on 1470 a.m. for the Rabbi Jenny Show. Be bright and shine on.
Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins. Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on the Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. I want to remind you can watch the show live at rabbijenny.tv. You can also watch it at WWNN and AM2 TV. And you can catch me on YouTube. If you've really liked one of the subjects, you just type in Rabbi Jenny and they pop up, and I could use some more dings on the YouTube. I think the YouTube is an important thing. I don't know, but I think it is. I wanted to talk a little bit more before we introduce our very special guest about clarifying this idea of manifesting, because I think that there's a lot of people right now who are trying to change their life and are suspecting that they're kind of like off key, like couple degrees off in manifesting exactly what they want, and they're focusing too much on their mind. And actually, your mind is your last thing to get on board, my friends. I mean, it is actually the last thing. And when you do shamanic healing, like I'm involved in, and you work with people, it is the last thing to transform, because it is something that has been embedded over and over again. Your thought patterns are electrically, impulsing over and over and over again. And so it's much easier to change things on a body level than on a thought level. So that's why so many of the laws in Torah, we may not understand them, but they involve our body. They involve what we put inside of our body and how we address our body. So one of those things that I want to recommend to you is that if you are not manifesting and you're visualizing and you're making vision boards and I got to show you. There's a lot of fakakta lists on the internet about this law of attraction thing. Because it's not about getting there, my friends. You are constantly transforming. I cannot make that clear enough. You are growing all the time. If you're living, you're growing. So if you think you're not there yet, like, get on, join the rest of us. You're never there. Okay, and when you're there disappears. So, okay, so there's one. Breathe, get clear, visualize, feel it, and let go. Okay, well, all right, good luck with that. The next one is clear space, get clear. Clear space, get clear, okay. Think and feel it, chill, and trust. Well, that's helpful. And then there's want it. This is a good one. This comes directly from one of the Law of Attraction sites. Want it, but don't need it. Be happy without it. Know why you want it, but don't forget to act. Like that was my favorite one because it was almost helping you. It was almost giving you something to do. And the funny thing is this particular portion that we're in, we're writing down all the people that are here. We're recording. It's the first time we're taking everything that we've received, all the messages, and we're actually putting them into writing. And if you listen to Tony Robbins, you listen to Wayne Dyer, you listen to any of these guys, Bob Proctor, any of these awesome teachers about how to set goals and reach them, the first rule is to write it down. Get it down now. Like, you know what you want. You've cleared the space a little bit, but write it down like we're doing right now. Set everything up. Make a plan. Put everybody in the northeast, west, and south. So that's my message for you. The other thing is, don't be surprised if you think that you are there yet and you're not. One of the coolest things that happens to me in my journey, and I share this with you with the utmost humility, is that I know very little when it comes to my own life. Like, I can tell you whatever I want, but when it comes to my own life, I'm a little slow. I think I forgive. I think I let go of resentment. I think that I'm not hurt. And then I realize, I'm hurt. I realize I'm not free. I realize I'm still crawling on the ground. I realize I'm still feeling shame or rejection or alone. And I'm always the last to know. Like, I'm always in a space in my life where, like, oh my God, I'm free. Holy crap, when that happened? I'm the last to know. And it's always after I've changed the way I eat. I've changed the people I surround myself with. I meditate a little bit more and maybe do a little bit of this thinking and visualize thing. I think I do a little bit of it. So we're going to be doing our Bad Mama Jamma segment. Let's hook that one up.
Jenny. Mama Jamma. Mama Jamma.
Okay, our Bad Mama Jamma today is a very special friend of mine, a sacred sister, Rashida Fayed Douglas. She is a doctor of philosophy, and she is also a Lala, or a female spiritual leader in the Muslim faith. And I met Rashida. Say hi, Rashida.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, we got her on video. Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Gorgeous. We actually met at an interfaith. We do a lot of interfaith work together, and
yes.
It's very powerful to sit with another woman of the Muslim faith. I mean, especially growing up when I grew up, it's really kind of like I could cry right here, actually, just sitting here. So.
And we met at the spiritual center when we were speaking.
Yes.
Most of us were women, so that was impressive.
It was amazing. Almost all the leaders were female.
We had one man, so it was like, yes, this is great.
It's okay. I think he was a Hindu, so it was good. It was
but
good.
He was speaking a lot about women, so it was good.
He was safe. Yes.
Very safe.
So tell us about what you think about the topic of manifestation in your own life through the Muslim faith.
Yeah, I'll just start with the little prayer. It's kind of the opening surah, which is in the Quran, the first chapter, and it's the opening, and in which it's kind of the Lord's prayer, where you pray to God, which we name Allah, the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and to Him we submit. We give all our powers and all the things that I have to. Think about, it's given to Him. I rely totally on Him, and then I follow that path, and I trust in His love. I trust in His mercy in my life. So that's kind of the opening surah, and then to keep me with people who are full of love, and not with people who are astray. And it's this kind of the surah is something we do in the prayer every day. And I'm going to say it in Arabic, and then I'll tell you.
So beautiful.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, so the law of attraction.
I could listen to her. I could listen to you forever. I really could, because it's a real true miracle in my life to be doing this. Like, growing up with Zionist family members and so much fear in the 70s. And it's just, I feel like the world's going to change. And that it's going to be, it's going to be the mothers, and it's going to be, it's just.
One thing that people don't realize, like being part of, I grew up in Morocco. And in Morocco, I'm 50 now, I just turned 50. So it was in my neighborhood where I grew up, we always had on Fridays, the Jewish ladies would be with us in the mosque, and we ate the couscous and all that. And then on Saturday, we can wait for the skut, which is the Sabbath, know. So we love that food. So we always exchange and interchange, and we took care of of each other's kids, and we had so much connection, And everything that happened that out there, it has nothing. It's like something is not part of the reality, and that's what I realized when I come here. There's especially in Boca, a lot of fear. People are afraid of what's Muslim, and they don't realize that, Muslims helped the Arabs. Muslims helped the Jews when they were persecuted, and when they were, thrown out of, Spain in the Andalusia. That's kind of 1495. And they don't understand that a lot of Moroccan, more than half, are mixed. They are into marriages, like the Bennouna family, the Alami family. These are all Jewish families that kind of converted or not. They just live in both worlds, and they are in government and all that. So there is no, it's happening, and that reality is happening. So there is no fear that they're trying to scare us, and that's.
And we can change things on our own level. So I want you to think about the topic in your own, because you're a very faithful woman. But as faithful women, we also we're in that process of the butterfly. I mean, you cannot avoid it. You're living, so you're changing. So what area of your life right now are you reaching for a level that you're not at?
The main thing for me is that I was professor at the university, and I just kind of quit it, about a year now, and I really feel like I'm in a crossroads. I know it's being kind of a Sufi. There's so much work with the working with the heart, manifesting through the heart. It's like you have to live that. I'm gonna say, I want a world that's just, that's with freedom, that's with this, with that. But if I don't apply it in my life, I don't feel it in my heart, I don't follow what my heart is telling me, then I'm a hypocrite. And I found that I was that's the issue that was, thinking about a year ago. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. I'm not going to be placed in places where I feel like I'm obliged to be there, or I have to because I'm Miss Nice or whatever. So it was just kind of a big, thing to just break through that, that kind of cocoon to no, this is who I am. And I'm going to think about something else. I really want to do something with teaching, with education, with spiritual teaching, for the kids and teachers, because laws, we teach them the policies and laws about discrimination. You shouldn't do this as a teacher, but it still happens,
It's funny because, you talk about letting go of the nice guy and yet having to open your heart. And it's a really weird thing, I think, for the listeners. They're like, well, I don't really understand, but there's a difference between following your heart and staying somewhere just to make everyone else happy.
Right, to be a pleaser.
A people pleaser.
Yeah.
People pleaser is again, you're stuck. Remember we were talking about the directions. You're stuck in the South. You're stuck being weighed down by everyone around you. It's just...
And you're not authentic.
No.
You're not doing things because you really... you're moving forward, and that's the model that you're going to produce, that kind of reality that's new, where I am with people from other cultures, from other interfaith.
Yes.
I'm living that new reality that everybody's dreaming about. I want to liberate myself and just be in that kind of environment, and not just like sit there and dream about it and it's going to happen, because the mind is like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The thought and what we think about and the belief we have,
Mm-hmm.
going back to the, like being indoctrinated with the religion, with the growing up in a society that's more dictatorship and all that. I mean, it's like so much, I think, garbage, that we're placed in our brain, and we are like operating with that for what? It's not really helping us at all.
Well, and you get rebellion. And I really want to talk about that, because when we're using the image of a butterfly, and the butterfly is really interesting, because when the caterpillar goes in the cocoon, it turns into this mush, and I think that's where we are right now in numbers. I think we're in there with mush. But we're going to talk about what happens once you're in there and you're hitting resistance, when you're not pleasing everyone before. So please join us. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in a few minutes. This is Rabbi Jenny.
Come on, let's set it on. This party started quickly, right?
Spent hours in therapy, at the spa and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on The Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com. Hi, this is Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show, and I have some exciting news for you. Do you know you have a light inside that shines like no other? Are you having difficulty releasing the past and moving forward and embracing your future? Join me on Saturday, May 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Times Gifts in West Palm for the release of my brand new book, Ahavatar, where I teach you to awaken the divine within and embrace your divine healer, hero, and visionary. Join me Saturday, May 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Times and light up your world. And don't forget, catch me every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on 1470 a.m. for the Rabbi Jenny Show. Be bright and shine on. Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. We're talking about manifestation with Rashida, a Muslim lala and a sacred friend of mine. And we're talking about this idea of manifesting. And we're using the image of the butterfly and this idea that we kind of want what we want when we want it. We're like in an instant gratification culture that we're like, oh, I want a boat, and we want the boat to appear. I don't know where that happened, but we really are in that kind of place. And manifestation is like a process. And so when you look at the caterpillar that becomes the butterfly, it's a really long, beautiful process. And one of the things that Rashida brought up before we start talking again is that you have to stop pleasing other people. You have to start pleasing yourself. And when the caterpillar goes in that cocoon, it literally liquefies. It does not, there's no evidence of the caterpillar ever again once it's in there. It's not, maybe some minerals. I mean, I'm not a scientist. We could ask people. I think they must have to be made up of some of the same stuff, but it literally becomes mush. And then the butterfly starts to form. And which means you have to focus on yourself. You have to to pull in. But what happens after that happens is the butterfly then starts to bang. You know, his wings grow and he's got to bang against the cocoon and say, I want this. This is my boundary, and I want this, and I'm going to focus on myself, and I don't want a teacher anymore, and I don't want, like you were sharing, you know. And then that resistance makes the wings strong so you can fly. So think about times in your life since you made this decision a year ago that people have reacted negatively.
The image of the cocoon, you know, it's beautiful because it's just what happens to the butterfly, you know, like to this caterpillar that becomes liquefied and all that. And that's kind of the image of for a human being, you have to melt down.
Yeah, totally.
You have to be totally in love. It's, you know how we're vulnerable when you're totally in love, like when you're teenagers, you just love and you're crazy. You know, you become so mellow and it's like everything is just fine. They hit you with something, you're like, oh, it's great. You know, you don't see the negative aspect of people and all that. That's kind of melting, you know, that we have to achieve internally in our heart, you know, because our heart is vast. It's like a beautiful ocean that we just have to let go. Let go, because we're indoctrinated. If you have one car, you need two to be happy. If you have this, you need this. You have fat, you need to get thin. You know, if you're thin, you need to get more weight. And, you know, if you have more money, you need to get less, whatever. So there is so much, you know, that we are, you know, indoctrinated with, but it doesn't really make us happy. And we have to let go of those things. You know, if you really know that we have a freedom of choice, I chose to be here, you know, from the, you know, the world of soul. Now I'm in a body, which is kind of the cocoon, which is the, what they call it, the tomb. That's our tomb that we're trying to break free out of. And so if we are really like looking at ourselves as the, what they call it, like the being so malleable, you know, when you have the wool, piece of wool, when you can do anything with it, so you can mix it, you can, you know, strengthen it, you can
become anything,
squish it, you can do anything, and then you are just fine in that state. Then you're really free. Then you can really start, you know, flying, and you are out in this world, you know, maybe even, not even that can stop you at that moment. Nothing,
well, you have to become the butterfly.
Yes.
Like you have to take that energy shift and you have to put it in a new form.
Yeah, but we can't be rigid.
No.
We can't be like, oh, you know, I've done it this way, I'm going to keep doing it this way. This person I don't like, I'm going to drop in my life because that's going to make me happy. No, that person is your mirror. I don't like you today because you're teaching me something about myself, and I'm going to have to expand more and include you in my heart, love you more, and then I'm going to see, oh, that's something, a little monster that I have to clean from myself, or a thorn that I have to pull out, and to be, you know, feeling better and freer. And
the more you grow, the more light you shine, the more the dark doesn't fit.
Yeah,
there's no room for it. It's like it has to move. It has to change. Even doing the show, like once I started the show, the rapid shifts that had to happen in my life it was ridiculous. Like situations and people had to move because I was moving, you know. And so when you moved from your job, the world had to respond.
Exactly.
You know, and they either had to get on board or not. But the intent, like you can't create anything. You can't drive to Boca crossing, you know, Alligator Alley. You're going to end up in Naples. You have to get on 95. So you have to stay true to the road you're on.
Exactly. And yes, and that's once you start shifting, you know, people get influenced because we contaminate people either positively or negatively. Either way, we always touch people's lives. And anything, you know, with the vibration, you talked about that, we do touch people's lives. So you're changing, and then I see that in my kids because I spent more time with my children, which I did before, but it was like I was superwoman, you know. But now at least I'm just like, no, I'm going to just focus on my kids. And I have 2 generations, 2 high schoolers and 2 elementary kids, you know. And one is she's 6th grader, so middle school. 2 different worlds, and it's just, I'm learning so much with them.
How, you know, we look at the 4 areas of our life, you know, and we look about that resistance because we're creating that butterfly or that new piece of ourselves. And so you have the family reacting a certain way. You have your outer world. But then you have, like, did you notice any shifts in your physical body when you made the decision?
It's like I felt, last thing what I did is just like a month ago, I went to Jonathan Dixon Park and then I volunteered for 1 month. What got me out is just the rain because I was on a tent. So everybody thinks that's crazy. Why would you want to go in a tent and, and you leave your house and all that? But even my husband, he freaked out. He's like, "What's wrong with you? Just stay where you are. Get a job.
That's that resistance.
Function. Just be normal. Why aren't you happy? You got a PhD and you have all this qualification. You could be making I don't know how much money. Why aren't you just doing that and be a little wife and just be stay with that? And it's not." It doesn't work like that. I mean, at least for me, it's like
when you have a call, it's hard to explain to people because it doesn't make sense. Like when I put my yarmulke on, I put the yarmulke on before I got to the seminary of my choice.
Yeah,
and it was the call was so at that point so annoying that at least putting it on, 4 years before seminary, got everybody around me used to this idea that I'm serious.
Yeah,
like this is not something I can shut off.
Right.
Like I can't stop my heart from exploding. It's really strange what's happening here to me. And it's not, it doesn't make sense. You have a law degree, same thing. You have all these things, Jenny. Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
and it's like,
why are you going somewhere that doesn't make money, that doesn't give you prestige, it doesn't, but it's not it. This is that's what part of the indoctrination, that if we have all this thing, we're going to be happier.
Well, it's funny because I got to go back to that butterfly because my human mind, that makes no sense either.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing's fuzzy. It goes into a cocoon and busts out this colorful thing that flies around for a couple weeks. Like, that makes no sense.
And then it flies all over the place, goes to flowers, picks from here, and then mixes honey. I mean, look at this whole process,
So we can't judge. We can't judge. So we went to that. What thoughts did you have when you left work? Your thoughts. What came up to resist you?
It was just, it was like, oh, is this, I'm really needed. I was a great teacher and, all the students really need me. And I got so much response from them. I said, like, why are you leaving? You're one of the greatest teachers and this. And I said, I'm sure I'm going to be doing something else with peace work. And, I will be doing something else, but not now. I'm not going to be in a place where I'm not, I don't want to, my heart doesn't want to be in it. So it's, and you have that, or maybe it's the wrong decision. Maybe I should really just stick with it, and try to transform it within. And it just doesn't work. It's a structure that's already built. Right. I can't fight with it. So I'm going to move here and build something different.
But there is a time for everyone like that. And I want to let the listeners know, because sometimes, you can listen to a rabbi and a lala and we're sitting here and you're like, oh, that's great for you, but I really don't like my job. So, there is a process of transforming when you're there. I remember I got out of law school and I was working in the Dade County Courthouse, and I mean, I was like so depressed in this office, I can't even tell you. Like, I was like, when is this going to change, And I was there for 4 years. So it wasn't that I wasn't growing and shifting, like you were saying, in other areas of my life. So I think that the idea that you can't transform it from within the place you're at, yes, but you can start transforming yourself, because you have to get ready for what you dream of. What you dream may be the most wonderful thing for you, but you're not ready. You're in training. You're you're getting ready for it. So maybe there were a few years when you were teaching that you knew you had to move on, but you didn't.
Towards the end, because for a long time I did enjoy it, and I enjoyed to the last moment, but there was time where it was like, I cannot be here. It's like, even mentally, like the memory was failing me. It's like everything that you need to be a teacher was just like, it fell apart, kind of. So it was like, and I had to shift to something different, to take time to pull myself away and then do something different. And I, worked with my kids and just became, a mom, but I did a lot of studies, about spirituality, and I did so much meditation, and I do that, talking about the body. I do like fasting, and because that helps when you want to change things, manifest.
Yes.
You really need to do something different with your body, like you were saying earlier.
And you're right. And, you're right on time. So
Yeah.
if you're listening and you're thinking, I really want you to know you're right on time. Whatever you're doing today is perfect. It's exactly what you should be doing right now, because what you're going to do next is going to be the next thing. But you couldn't have done it if you didn't do what you're doing now. Because
Right.
even if what you're doing now is just simply the motivation, I always say that you have to be a slave before you're free.
Right.
There's no, you have to be married before you're divorced. Let me tell
Right.
you.
The law of
you
polarity.
got to be, not
Poor
a mother.
to be rich,
Yes.
or rich to be, and then you become poor. Because the
Absolutely.
law of polarity is very important to free us too.
You won't know what
Yeah.
it is. There's this idea that we want this perfect world, but will we know it was
What is it?
perfect? Will we
Yeah.
even know?
Who told you it's perfect?
Right.
Yeah. How did you come up with that idea? It's like there's so much questioning that goes into that.
And did we come
And
here
then
to
just what are you
experience?
doing? Like, what are you doing with your body at that moment? That's exactly what you want to be. That's who you are. So just look at it, and either you're enjoying it, or you're gonna see yourself like you're gonna move something else or somewhere else. And people should really feel free to do that and enjoy it.
So what are you doing
there.
now?
Right
Tell
now,
our listeners, where are you going now? Where are you taking your new
Okay.
adventures? Come on, give them
my
some.
new adventure.
Yes.
I'm thinking about doing a non-profit.
Ah.
And I want to do like a lot of spiritual healing for kids. I want to just work with kids and do, like take them to Morocco, maybe bring Moroccan kids here, just have that international kind of exchange. And I want people to connect with other cultures so that we don't have that fear that, those kids, they are whatever. No, we are all the same when we connect and we get together and we visit each other, even like here locally.
Yes.
There's so much. Just go and visit the mosque, or come to my house. It's a different world. It's not.
Well,
not the same.
and I know you, and I know that everything that you were doing up till today, from when you stopped teaching, is preparing you for that. And that's what I want the listeners to really get, is that by doing the interfaith events we've done, by doing this radio show, by doing all of that, you're creating the energy to make that dream possible. Thank you, Rashida.
Thank you
We'll
so
be right
much.
back with the Rabbi Jenny Show.
Thank you.
Come my lady, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar baby. Such a sexy, pretty little thing. This little bitch, you got me sprung with your tongue ring.
Hi, this is Rabbi Jenny from the Rabbi Jenny Show, and I have some exciting news for you. Do you know you have a light inside that shines like no other? Are you having difficulty releasing the past and moving forward and embracing your future? Join me on Saturday, May 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Times Gifts in West Palm for the release of my brand new book, Ahavatar, where I teach you to awaken the divine within and embrace your divine healer, hero, and visionary. Join me Saturday, May 23rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Changing Times and light up your world. And don't forget, catch me every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on 1470 a.m. for the Rabbi Jenny Show. Be bright and shine on.
Do you know someone who is currently struggling with an addiction? The struggle is over. Dream Recovery International has the answer. With a combination of highly skilled clinicians, innovative treatment modalities, and luxurious amenities, Dream Recovery International has it all. Focusing on core issues, spiritual growth, and personal empowerment, clients of Dream Recovery International leave addiction behind and move forward to fully embrace life. For more information, go to dreamrecoveryintl.com or call 855-DREAM-80. Dream Recovery International, where addiction ends and recovery begins. Spent hours in therapy, at the spa, and the gym, and still feel as if something is missing? At Walk Between the Worlds with shamanic practitioner Jennifer Sellers, you recapture lost pieces of yourself, place them within your heart, and move forward to fully actualize life. With individual sessions and group classes, with Walk Between the Worlds, you heal your mind, unite your soul, and empower your spirit. Contact walkbetweentheworlds.com today. Mention this ad on The Rabbi Jenny Show and receive 10% off your first session. Walk free and whole and true at walkbetweentheworlds.com.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, this is Jenny, and I'm back. Rabbi Jenny Show. Thank you for joining us. It is Wednesday, May 20th. For all you little Tauruses out there, I hope you're having a bull of a day. We are in a Mercury retrograde, so if you're into all that, don't expect anything to go smoothly, but enjoy the bumpy ride for the next 12, 13, 14 days of your life. And we can actually talk about astrology in another show because astrology is actually represented in Jewish mysticism. So it's very cool. Like, you would never think that the planets are in Judaism. But I love to teach people how the angels and astrology and all that stuff is actually embedded in our code, that our 10 sacred energy centers in Judaism are representative of the 9 planets and the sun. So it's really cool how connected we are to everything. We are talking today about manifestation. We ready? With the Joy Jar Challenge? It's time for the Joy Jar Challenge.
Joy, 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 joy. It's Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time for the Rabbi Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Hi there. Who's on the phone? Hello?
Hi, it's Rob Cunningham. Hi, Rabbi Jenny. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, Rob. Who are you?
Rob Cunningham. I'm local here, Coconut Creek. I'm with Planned Growth, tech-based marketing firm here. How are you doing today?
Cool, cool. Do you know about the Joy Jar Challenge? Do you know what that is?
No, I just heard briefly. No,
okay. So what you have to do for me is in 10 seconds, you need to name how many things, Blake? How many things? 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. How many seconds should we give him? 25 seconds, Rob. We're going to give you 25 long seconds to name 10 things in your life that you're ridiculously joyful for. And when you do that, you can advertise your business. You think you can do it?
Okay.
You think you got 10 things? Okay, are we ready with the timer? Okay, you ready, Rob?
Sure.
Go.
All right, not shoveling snow in Ohio anymore. I love the weather down here in Florida. My oldest son, he just made AP classes for next year. My next son, he also just graduated kindergarten. My other son just graduated first grade. And I just found out my fourth son just graduated from third grade. I love my bustling career with Planned Growth. We're doing real well. Like to all the career networking I've done down here. Some great people, some great friends I've met. I'm happy for that. My health, my kids' health. Trying to think. I already said weather. I love the weather down here. I love the people down here. I've met so many great people so far. Freddie Santori, I'll tell you what, great connection and great person I've met over there at the station.
And you need one more. One more.
I'm trying to think. My brand new niece.
Okay. Oh, that was good. Woo! I wish we had like an exploding sound effect. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you're ridiculously joyful. Okay. All right, Rob, want to give us the listeners your website and how they can contact you and get in touch with you?
Absolutely. www.plannedgrowth.com. Very tech-based marketing firm here in South Florida. We have some amazing clients in various industries. We do everything website development, mobile web, optimization of websites. We have over a dozen services bundled for our clients in South Florida, social media management, SEO, email marketing, mobile marketing, etc. We also do custom CRMs for clients as well, so you have somewhere to put all that marketing contact information.
Oh, that's great, Rob. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for calling the Rabbi Jenny Show. Maybe you'll call in again?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Yeah, I'll stop by the station and see you.
Okay, you got it, Rob. Have a beautiful day full of joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, this is Rabbi Jenny. That was a good one. That was a long one. Woo! I don't know. Was that 25 seconds? I don't know, I'm feeling a little silly. Maybe I'm transforming to receive more joy. I'm manifesting more joy in my life from all the kookiness in this studio. Like, if you can watch the video, you probably should, but we should put video cameras in the booth. We should put video cameras back there with Freddie, who's doing the video, because we are silly. We are silly. And we're talking about manifestation. That's our topic today. We have a couple minutes before the jam, I think. We have a different kind of Jenny Jam this week. I wanted to talk about the idea of alchemy. Just a little bit, the mystery of alchemy. And, we've heard about this idea of finding the, what is that, the golden cup. What's...
Chalice.
The chalice. You drink from the water and you live forever. And there's these, it's magic. Everybody thinks alchemy is magic. But, you look up alchemy in change, it's just change. It's taking an ordinary substance like lead or coal and turning it into gold. And essentially, when we're manifesting in our life, we're not changing into something brand new. We're transforming what's there into something else. So you've got the goods, my friends. It's in you. You've got it. You've got the goods. It's just a matter of taking the time to transform and become the beautiful butterfly that you are. And I think, how much time we got? 4. I think we should do the jam, and then we'll do a little chit-chatting after.
Yo, 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 jam, jam.
I hope I can do this, man. I changed it up a little here. Ain't no floating mess no more. Sifted down and mold away. Take it in your hands and form. Let your dreams come true today. Butterfly, sweet butterfly. Butterfly, sweet butterfly. Ain't no vagueness up in space. Just a lost idea you saw. Bring it home and make a place. Let the future sweet unfold. Butterfly, sweet butterfly. Butterfly, sweet butterfly. Da-ba-da-da-da-da-da. Da-ba-da-da-da-da. 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 Ma-da-ba, wee-ba-dee, ma-da-ba. Da-ba-da-da-da-da. No more crawling on the ground. You have done your time down there. Wrap that loving skin around. Brew it up and have no fear. Butterfly, sweet butterfly. It's a big, big sky. Sweet butterfly. Da-ba-da-da-da-da. Da-ba-da-da-da. Wee-ba-dee, ba-da-ba, wee-ba-dee, ba-da-ba. I think it's almost done. You like me scatting? I gotta do it. I'm like looking up videos about scatting and how do you scat. And I swear to God, my life is a ridiculous playground. And I think that I did the thing that they talk about in the Torah because, transformation can be messy. Liquefaction can be messy. And right before I started doing this, my dad, who I talk about like every 1 or 2 shows, because I'm in my year of mourning of him, and I think I'll mourn him forever, but the mess that I went through emotionally, the liquefaction that happened to me on a daily basis after he was gone, I can't explain it to you. Like, I had thought I felt sadness. I had thought I had felt loss. And I remember sitting on my couch, and I think I've shared this, that I felt liquefied. Like, I really felt like somebody was just reaching inside of my heart in the same way that happened when I decided to become a rabbi, except it was almost like exploding in reverse. It was like, can I even live without this? But remember, like, this is about flying. And I do believe that my father was a wonderful man, but I do believe that we are attached to the ideas of our fathers. And some of those ideas are like inside of us, whether we mean to have them or not. Maybe they're the tapes in our head. And when we shed that, when they are transformed into spirit, into a form that they can support us on a different level, we can fly in a totally different way, you know. And my sister and brother, they have experienced the same type of energy, and it's like, don't fear the mess, don't fear the change, don't fear, manifest your dreams, my friend, my little butterflies. I absolutely adore you. I will miss you. It will be the longest 7 days of my life. This is Rabbi Jenny. Talk to you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.